All right, hello everyone. Today we are going to cover the ranch in both Elona and Elona Plus. So I'm going to start off, everything's going to be Elona, and then at the end I will talk about the differences in Elona Plus. So first off, where would you buy a ranch deed? Any of the goods vendors can sell them, but your best luck is coming here to the tax office and finding either this lady who sells lots of deeds, and well, she doesn't have one, or the lady over here. Yep, nobody has any today. And also, if you head down to Palmia, this is for all deeds. If you head down to Palmia, there's two people that I think every town, but if you go to this shop, then find this fella, and he has a handful. Yep, he has a ranch. You can see it's 80,000 GP. I already have one. And there's one more. This one down here sells furniture and also deeds. Oh, I got that backwards. So she has a palace, which is a house, and yeah, a few more. And she has a ranch as well. So these two vendors plus the tax office, that's your best bet. All right, so next we'll talk about the location for your ranch. There's only a couple things to keep in mind here. I had mentioned in previous guide videos about where I like to build, and this is this little area here. You can see the farm, the shop, and the house guide. These are where I put them. I'll repeat it again. So Vernus is right off the map over here. In fact, if I move one or two tiles, it's right there. And Palmia is about the same. There's a couple tiles over here. So it is, right in the middle of this long stretch, and it's a stretch that you'll be frequenting, right? If anytime you're heading from Port Capul to anywhere else, or Palmia to anywhere else, or in between, or just cutting across the continent from Port Capul or Noyel, anywhere else, you're almost always traveling on this road, and it's easy to be caught in heavy weather, like heavy rain, or ether wind, or starvation. So I just consider this a little oasis here, and so I like to build, just something here. So I'm always walking by here. Oh, I should also mention, a lot of people think it's best to build them nearby towns and cities, but I just think it defeats the purpose of having another instance to enter, because you can have shops and stuff in your house. When you get a bigger house, you can have shops and things that are better than any of the cities. So what's the point of having two shops right next to each other, right? So anyway, to do it, you need to push R to read, and then read your deed of ranch while you're standing exactly where you want it. Confirm it with yes, and now we have a ranch. So let's go ahead and enter. So the way a ranch works is you place a pet or any captured character in here, and then it will just constantly clone that pet. NPCs in the game, if you eat their corpse or their parts, you get some kind of a bonus or boost. For instance, one of them is a putit. If you eat the raw putit corpse, you get a bonus. You get a bonus to your charisma, and so it's a chance, right? So you can raise your charisma really quick, which is a very important skill in this game. Another one is like a rabbit. If you take the part of a rabbit, the rabbit's foot, you can eat it, and then you can gain luck. So you can also take parts from them if you interact with them. I'll show you later. You can interact with the animal and take a part from it, like its skin or something. You can harvest. And if you kill something in the ranch, you get a much higher chance for it to drop its corpse, right? So it doesn't depend so much on your anatomy skill, and you can even get two corpses from one item. A couple more things. Mentioning why you would get a ranch. It's a good way to snowball your pet from gene engineering, because you can take the genes, maybe get a fast thing like a fairy or a bell, and take the genes from that and put it into your pet. The pets also, they produce periodically milk, eggs, and other types of junk, so you can use those for cooking and drinking. And the pets just create more creatures of the same type. So if I put a putit in there, then he'll just make lots more putits. And there is a very small chance they will make another something that's not what they are, but it's usually something of the same kind of value, right? Or something lower. So don't expect to like upgrade necessarily. All right, so next we'll talk about how you get some pets in here. Again, I mentioned a Putit, right? So if you use these monster balls, basically they're a Pokeball, right? So you damage a some enemy until they get to like almost 0 health, and then throw a monster ball at them, and you can capture them. To get an enemy to 0 health, it can be difficult if you're not a very, very low level. So what you can do is bash with B. So push B in the direction, and you can bash. Or you can equip a melee weapon that's just awful, and that you're only doing a tiny bit of damage. Then send all your pets home or let them die, and then you can just solo some animal. So then when you get one, anywhere you can push T to use, and use that monster ball. So I have one with a Putit inside of it. So I'm gonna use it. And you don't have to use it in the ranch, right? It's just a pet. It will follow me just like any other pet in the game. But then when you come here, you come to the register, and you can assign somebody to be a breeder. And we will assign the breeder. And there's a breed power there that kind of, it limits you from like exploiting some things. But we'll assign him. And we are done. So you only need one. He will breed by himself, which I guess is cloning, right? He'll clone himself. And after some period of time, we'll come back and see that there are a handful of Putits in here. So there's a few creatures that are deemed unbreedable by the game. I'm not going to read them all off because there's about 20 of them. I'll pull up a picture for the wiki, so hopefully you're looking at that now. And the only thing worth mentioning here is that if you try to breed them, it'll work, I guess, but you will get a different offspring than what it is. And just for one example here, like if you get a stray cat, you won't get more stray cats when you breed it. You'll just get cats, right? And one other thing is any unique creature. So that would be something like a boss at the bottom of a dungeon, or maybe a townsperson, someone with a name, right? So if you try to breed any of those, you'll get a shade as an offspring. So just don't waste your time with those. Okay, I returned to the ranch after, I believe, a couple weeks probably, just roaming around. And you can see that there's a lot of things here. So my original pet is this Putit right here, the big one, right? And I think this is an Elona Plus thing, because I don't recall having tiny ones in Elona, but maybe I'm wrong. It's been a while since I played the base game. But so this is the original breeder, and it's making lots of Putits. And they've also dropped milk and a few eggs. So the eggs are up here, right? So we have an egg of Putit, and this is the bottle of milk. There is a maximum amount of Putits animals that can spawn here. So you do need to keep that in mind. If you're trying to, raise a lot of them, you need to kill some off. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to try to kill some. And boom, just like that. I have a low anatomy skill. Where's my anatomy? Maybe I don't even have an anatomy skill. I do not. So I don't even have an anatomy skill, and this guy dropped his corpse and a skin. And the reason I chose Putit, because I can eat the corpse, and you can see here, your skin becomes smooth. You pat your stomach. That means I got a buff to my charisma. So my charisma went up a bit. So Putit's a great one to get. So you can just sit here and slaughter all of these guys and get lots of corpses and really train this skill. It's worth looking at the wiki to figure out which animals to get for what skills, because there's a ton of skills and a ton of animals in the game. Another thing, there's a thing down here called Big Brush, and if you use this Big Brush on your animals, first let's interact with one of them. I can do all of these here, and Elona Plus, I have these takeout options, so I can just straight up remove its skin, which is kind of odd, but you can do it. Bring out means he'll become part of my party. So if you're trying to train something for fighting, then bring it with you. And the rest is just the regular things you would have. So there was a big brush that was laying on the ground when I bought this ranch. So if you pick this up and go to one of your pets, I've already done this one. That's why he's kind of shimmering. I'll do one down here. So you go to one of your pets and you push Z to pull up your little quick menu here, and then you go down, push down to get skill. I can do rub. Now I can rub without the brush in my hand, but if I do it while I have a brush in my hand, then they will shimmer. And you can see you get a little thing here. You rub the Putet by brush. By brush is the key. I have it in my inventory. It says the skin is decent grade. So now if I were to kill him or just take his skin, then it would have much higher value. There's lots of stats. If you check out the wiki on the big brush, there's tons of stats that can be on there. It's too big of a... I'll try to put it up, but it doesn't really fit on one page, so it might be a little too small. But you can see that you can really farm money out of these guys. Also, there's these rocks down here. They're called dry rocks. And it's pretty self-explanatory here. If cooking ingredients is left, it will turn into dry food. So it makes jerky. And let's kill one of these fellas. And you are unlucky. Okay, so we'll kill him off, and then we're gonna drop his corpse here. A couple of them here. Okay, so my charisma is at 18, and it originally was 8. It's being buffed by 10, I guess. But my charisma is 18, and let's eat a few of these corpses. Okay, let's see here. Now it's 19, right? It went up. Also, it says my muscles feel stronger, so I think that was just a small chance to up my strength. So yeah, it's very useful to eat them. I'm gonna drop one corpse here, and then go wait a couple of days and see what we get. All right, we're back. And you can see my Putet corpse has changed. Now it is a jerky. So let's pick it up. Oh, I got 5 jerkies from that one corpse. And a jerky is just something you can eat, and they last for a very long time. They're only 0.1 stone each, so I have 5, so total of 0.5 stones. These are great to bring into dungeons with you because they last. I don't think they last indefinitely, but I can say I've never seen one rot. Yeah, you definitely want to keep these with you. And oh, just in that 2 or 3 days, I've spawned some more Putets. Another one, I built another ranch here, and this is an Elona Plus guy here, but I made a quantum. Where is he? Oh, that's him. This guy's called Quantum Creature. So this is a Elona. I think it's an Elona Plus guy, but these guys will breed for speed because they're very, very fast, and but I don't always get one, right? So this guy is a Ural's Machine Infantry, and he was a child of my queue. My Putet's breeding power was 666, and this guy's breeding power, I believe, was 28. So it not only affects how often they breed, but also like how many can, like the maximum amount in the ranch. So a Putet is pretty high with 666. I don't know. I couldn't find a comprehensive list of all the animals' ability to breed, but the Putet is pretty high up there. And so if you get them high enough, you can like literally fill up almost every tile in here with one of the breeds, one of the spawns. Whereas a smaller one like this one, 28, I can probably only get 4 or 5 in the entire ranch, and before it's considered full. So if you have something like this that you want to breed a lot of, you might need multiple ranches. I just have a few more things I want to mention here. And this is the Elona Plus thing. So everything so far, except the 1 or 2 things I mentioned, are for both base game Elona and Elona Plus. Now the things that in Elona Plus start here. So you get an option to move the livestock when you use the register. It just lets you move things around. There's not much of a use for it. I can't think of any reason why you would want to do that, but you have the option. The big brush is all Elona Plus, so keep that in mind. And creatures that are born at your ranch might randomly gain new heritable stats. So if you rub them with a big brush, you can see that. And then you can, if you assign that creature that has that stat, then you can get more creatures that also have it, right? So if you happen to have a, let's say a Putit, that, you know, 'cause that's what I have here. If you happen to have a Putit that you bred and it happens to have a higher strength than all the others, then you can grab him, make him the new breeder, and you're more likely to get more high strength Putits, you know, or whatever you're looking for. Also, you can milk them by using a special action squeeze. You should get plenty of milk, but you can do that if you need more milk. Also, if you have if you're breeding a creature that makes shades, if you try to squeeze that creature that is a shade, then you will identify that he's a shade. Also, the vegetables, fruits, and fish, like any edible thing, will be turned into 5 of its dried counterpart if you put it on the dry rock, not only the corpses, right? And you need to clean the ranch. So pick up they'll drop shit. So I think they already have. So let's see what that is. They will drop these here. Let's see. Yeah, here's one. So there's a shit of Putit, right? So you need to clean these up. Not like every day or anything, but just go in there and clean them up. So if you don't clean it, then they become sick and they get poisoned and they will produce even more shit. And so that sickness will spread, and yeah, it can really hurt your ranch. Just go in and clean them up. So the maximum produce that generates at your ranch will last for 30 days. So just stop by once a month to pick it up. Okay, so now in Elona Plus, livestock feed is added to the pot for fusion recipe. So if you throw in some rotten food, then you can make livestock feed. It's just the use, because now, before rotten food had no use, so now there is a use for rotten food, and you can just keep one here at the ranch, and then you can use that. And then it'll fatten up your livestock, and they have, you know, more drops. Another thing you can do with your ranch is actually make money. So if I go interact with one of my spawns here, I can bring him out, assuming I have enough charisma, because you need 5 charisma for each person in your party, and people in ranches and shopkeepers and things, these all count as a party member. So you can see here, Putit joins my party. Now, the problem is, Putit isn't the best for this because he can get killed very easily. But if you can manage to get your pet, you know, a humanoid would be better. But if you can manage to get your pet, to Durfee, which is here, then you can sell him to the slave trader, which is this guy. I want to sell a slave, and I got Putit, and I'll get 600 for this guy. If you have a humanoid, you probably get a few thousand. And of course, you could just, if you place a ranch next to Durfee, you could just walk them all over one by one, and make a lot of money that way. So there's an option there. All right, guys, I think that is pretty well covering the ranch. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask. And I hope that you at least learned something and have a reason to now build ranches. The main reason for having one is for the genetic manipulation, right? And I will do an entire video on that later. And so look for that, and you'll see how this works side by side with a ranch. So thanks for watching, and look forward to some more videos.